Why he went to Isro? Why he should not go to Isro? He went to Isro because he just wanted to, according to his own statement, he wanted to appreciate the Isro scientists. So either he can call these people to come to Delhi, which is usual whenever PSLV and other things are successful. Even I was called to go to Delhi when Narasimha Rao was there for the 93 launch. At that time there were restrictions on the expenses. So this man coming here is better than taking all the people there. He was actually addressing in a crowd, correct? All this crowd were happy and satisfied. Now if you want, you can take all these people to Delhi. It is not possible. It is not difficult. So it's a good thing he has done.
Sir, also, do you think that the previous governments didn't support the ISROD?
No, it's not didn't support or anything. The previous government, there were two governments. One is the previous Congress government, and afterwards the Narendra Modi government. In between you had the Vajpayee government. But the previous government, when it started in the year 1962-63, we were only 20-23 people, very small in number. And when the first rocket was launched, I think, if I remember correct, it was November 21st of 1966, I think. That was on a borrowed rocket, that is a Nike Apache and Centaur. I think it was a Nike Apache which was launched. That is to mark the inauguration. I mean, at that time only 3 buildings were there. One is the school building, and then another one is the church, Magdalene Church, and third one is the Bishop's house. So Bishop's house was the office of the director, and Kalam's office, that is, we were all there, myself and this. And the school building was our lab, and church building was housed for other senior scientists. So these are the only 3 buildings. We never constructed any building. At that time there was only 1 jeep and 1 bus and 1 car, that is for the director. Our infrastructure. So that is a very small starting. But money was not coming as you wanted it in that manner. It took years. Then you had the SLV-3. And SLV-3, I think it was in the year 1979, they had the successful flight, or first flight, I don't remember. And you see, generally, first SLV was a failure. And afterwards, SLV-3 was, second one was successful, but the ASLVs were failing. So people were mocking at us, saying that this is SLV was renamed as sea-loving vehicle, and then ASLV was always sea-loving vehicle. And Isro didn't command any kind of respect like what today Isro is respecting. So generally, that was the failure modes. A lot of failures were there. Naturally, the faith, it was low faith at that time. But one thing was obvious, at least from my point of view. I was struggling to make the liquid. And that struggle lasted for so many years. It was Professor Satish Dhawan who was supporting my activity. But he was helpless because he couldn't get the money what we were looking for. And I am sure about it because that he has made it beyond doubt very clearly, saying that we are not able to get this money. So, but at that time only budget available was for PSLV or part of ASLV, that is all. So I was one of the direct sufferers of the for Wanda funds. So we didn't have a building, we didn't have a minimum facilities, and we were asked to. But still I was so attached to the this one liquid, I somehow wanted to make it to work. So we tried the first 600 kg to fly. Now the 600 kg also we had, actually it is not borrowed money, it was borrowed money. It is from some other activities, somebody, director will give some money, very fizzling sum. With that we made only 2 rockets. Normally such things, they will make some 5-6 rockets. If one fails, another one will. We made only 2, and the first one, everybody said that it is a failure, though it was a success, because it was just standing on the eye of the people, because it was launched towards east. That too, we were, the rocket, they were afraid, they wanted me to launch from Sriharikota. No, Sriharikota at that time was just coming up, they had nothing, it was like original turtles. No infrastructure, no facilities. We were suffering to launch it. So the first one, at least some people said it is a failure, whereas I believe it was a success. Then the second one, I was just praying God that I have to prove that it is a success. So this time I chose night and cloudless night and free, visibly you can see that, and we launched it. And it was visible for everyone to see the flames and stuff like that. So they all agreed it was a success. So the suffering you had for want of money is not small. It is really there. Then we wanted to go for 3 ton, and that too number of rockets we were playing with us, 1 or 2. At that time only we were going for the Isro ACP collaboration. Actually Isro ACP collaboration was also, if you really look at it, if we have the required funding, why should we go for that collaboration? The collaboration itself started because for want of money. So, see, many people do not know, they somehow look at it politically. But the hard truth is that we didn't have the money. At least I can tell you my project, liquid propulsion system, suffered for want of money. In spite of the fact that the chairman Isro wanted this money to be provided, but he couldn't get the money. So that was true. But I don't blame any government or that is where I mentioned in my earlier interview somewhere that they means the government didn't have faith in Isro at that time frame. But subsequent to that, once the PSLV was a success, and then, of course, when PSLV was success, it was 93. It took a long time. And that too, even for that 9 years or something like that, 7 years, money was coming. Because without money, we could not build the facility. But that is after proving your credibility. You see, even the liquid propulsion, if you look at it, the Vikas engine was test fired at ACP facility. We didn't have a facility here. We test fired it and then showed to not only to the world but also to the Isro management and to the government that it works. But I don't know whether it is a right policy or wrong policy, but that was the fact. That is the truth.
So do you think that this was because of the Isro experiments was not the priority of that time?
No, whatever could be the reason. The reason could be your priority is not there, that is one thing. Or you have not understood what is the right priority. Or even you could have thought that it is not required. I don't know. Or you didn't have any faith that these fellows will come through. Because at that time, when you talk about liquids, you didn't have the propellants. You didn't have the material to stand that temperature. You didn't have the test, nothing. This is where people like me, who was at the bottom of the development, really either, one way we felt very sad, but still we worked on. Another way we are very happy when something comes through. Overwhelmingly happy. But these are history. This is not known to, in the sense that it is not published in all the places saying that, oh, look at this, But the truth remains the same. For the liquid propulsion, in the beginning, there were no funding available. Minimum funding was available, with which it was difficult to run the show. And that way it took longer time.
I guess our chairman was saying that Isro is planning continuous projects. So, how do you think the private participation in this
No,
field?
today it is a good situation because actually in a way it's a good situation because the private parties, when they come in the picture, they will have to find the funding. So you don't have to find the funding from the government. Now I also feel that one should not tax the taxpayers' money forever. This is a different, we are now talking differently. We should collect the money from different agencies who are having vested in. After all, it is business. Supposing you look at it, Elon Musk is trying for a cheaper launch vehicle or launch capability. You are in a unique position. You have proved yourself that you are trustworthy and you can be trusted upon. Plus, you have also got the required ability to do the job, and your cost is low. So it is a win-win situation. Assuming a situation, Elon Musk is asking for a space system, and if you are able to do that, you win because you are having a job. He wins because he is getting the same thing for a small price. So in total, if you really look at it, you don't have to provide the funding automatically comes. It depends on the private participant here. If the private participant is a smart chap, if he is able to market his ability in the international level, I am not saying for ISRO level and all, you can go and do in the international level. See, the problem it appears to me is they are new to this business. So, if they know how to be tried in the beginning, long back, actually in the year 1991 we tried at least. I was carrying some private people to Russia for the cryogenic fabrication, stuff like that. But you know how it landed later, so that became a mess. But private parties, at that time itself we were trying to push the private parties, but it was not getting the approval. We were trying to do something like that. I won't say it is a policy problem or it is, somehow it didn't happen. But it can be due to, supposing if somebody is giving the required push, then it could have. But even in USA, if you really look at it, you have a lot of private companies. You have Aero General Corporation, Rocketdyne, Thiokol Chemical Corporation, Hercules Powder Company, Bell Aerosystems. So many companies are there. I visited every company in the American soil. And even in France, you have private companies who are doing it. The one with which whom had the collaboration, Society Europe and the propulsion. And then UK you have. Even in China, they say private companies are there. So there's nothing. This policy, to sell this policy, we took long time. Now this government has approved, and there are so many startups, I was told. But then the matter doesn't end there. It only starts from there. They have to be educated, they have to be trained, and they have to be put into the proper groove so that they run the business. After all, they have to make money. You can't ask them to go dry. So that is where it all depends who is there. But we in ISRO should take an unbiased view of encouraging these private people so that things go well, that manner.
Okay, sir, next question. After the successful mission of Chandrayaan 3 now, ISRO is planning this Aditya aerial.
No, actually that is a study project. I think they are going to study at a distance of 15 lakh kilometers. It is going closer to sun. And they are trying to understand the core, and it's a good project. See, in ISRO we have no dearth of knowledge or intelligence or anything. The point is, originally, I am talking about originally in ISRO, we had an attitude that we will do everything. We will not allow anybody else to get in, step in. Even if it is a bolt, we will do ourselves. But that slowly got changed. Then we were willing to give some subsystems, bolts, nuts, other. But then the real thing comes, we started giving subsystems like gas generator, like turbo pump, like gas, those things. I think recent past I understand that we have given the whole touch system itself outside for fabrication. See, these are because of wrong notions of the government, I would say. The government is afraid that the difficult to keep the secrecy and could be, I am not sure about it. But by proper documentation, by proper agreements, see, after all, you are giving the fabrication to a company. If you can trust them, you can as well trust that they can keep the drawings and things like that with them. But I don't think there is anything to be, but it was a wrong notion. That's what I believe. Now that private policy has come, this will give a boost. I'm sure about it. Because these people are smart enough to understand the whole thing. And they will go ahead with which would release the exchequer from finding the funding for it. That's what I believe.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
So